Hello and welcome. Today I am talking about fear. Now, I just saw a post on Facebook that said, feel the fear and do it anyway. And I will get to why that doesn't work in a moment for at least 4 out of 5 women. But I also just finished a creatory session with a woman who had a huge fear of heights. So I wanted to talk about that so that we could get some perspective around why this feel the fear and do it anyway doesn't work for most women. So my client, it was yesterday afternoon. We did a session on this fear of heights. So Maria, I don't know where it come from, why I have it, but it has been a part of my life my entire life. I cannot go up 3, 4, 5 stories or be up about on a high rise. I cannot. I have this fear of falling. I just cannot do it. So before we started our session, we created this scenario to see what her trigger responses were. So we created a scenario of a place in the future where she would have no other, no other option but to be in that triggered situation. And she imagined that she was on a rooftop, something like where you see in the movies. There's a swimming pool and there's a cocktail bar and there's lots of people milling around and there's a beautiful view of the city lights, the city or the city lights, depending on what time of day it is. So she created this image of this rooftop outside area. And okay, so then we worked out what she was feeling in that moment, and she was absolutely terrified of falling. It was like, what are you focused on? It's just so high. I'm scared of falling. What are you caring about? I'm caring about falling. What are you believing about yourself? I believe I will fall. Now, and then I asked, what do you believe about the situation? And she said, you know what? I'm so used to missing out. That's just what I believe. I will miss out. I'm always missing out. I'm used to missing out on being out there and being with all my friends and all the people because I can't get out the doors. She was sitting inside a glass wall. There was a lounge sort of area before you went outside, and she was sitting there sort of hugging the lounge. This was in her scenario. She was sitting there hugging the lounge, looking out the window, seeing everybody else in the pool and getting cocktails and walking around, enjoying the party atmosphere out on this rooftop. So then it was, what are you thinking about? And she said, I don't care. I don't care that I'm missing out. And then she rephrased it, I'm telling myself I don't care that I'm always missing out. And then she was, where did she feel it? Like, because when we feel emotion, it is in our body, okay? It's not just in our head, in our mind. We physically feel it. We have a reaction. And this lady felt, she literally, when she was imagining this scenario, she felt vertigo. She felt it all in her head and she felt dizzy. She was stressed and her fist clenched, okay? So we spent 20 minutes, which is about all it took to go in and go through this process, be guided through where she could, basically view, it was like viewing a movie, I guess you'd say, and she could get a different perspective of how she could move forward without having this big, deep, huge fear of heights. So and some of those learnings were, I'm okay, or you're okay, you're strong, you're capable, you can create a way forward, breathe through, trust yourself, all of these deep inner learnings that only she can get for herself. Okay, I can't give my clients advice, and I don't. They get all that they need from within, and that's why it literally cements that change, that change in perspective, the change in focus, the change in belief, the change in the feelings around that one specific issue. which was, for this one, the fear of heights. So she got all of these amazing learnings, really, really amazing. And then when we finished, I said, okay, let's go back and we'll go back into that same scenario and see what you're thinking and feeling and behaving and caring about and all of the things that we measured before. So she closed her eyes and went back into that memory where, there was this outside amazing rooftop with a pool and the bar and people. And I said, okay, what are you focused on? So I'm already in the pool. I'm having fun straight away. That was where she was. Where before she was holding the couch, looking through the window, not even thinking that she could possibly walk outside the glass doors to get to that area. Now she was in the pool already. She's having a good time. I'm confident. I'm just being me, was what she believed about herself. What are you believing about the situation where before it was, I'm always missing out. I'm used to missing out. It's fun and I'm lucky to be here. What were you thinking about? Before it was, I don't care, or trying to make herself believe that she didn't care. It's now I'm having a good time. I'm chatting and I'm laughing and I'm talking and I'm splashing in the pool and I'm having an awesome time. Before, where she felt instant vertigo from this just creating this image in her mind, now the feeling that she had was excitement. And that was a great big 10 out of 10 before, this fear of heights, this all of that was with it, okay? Her feelings, her beliefs, her values, all of that, her focus, her care factor, what she believed about herself, what she believed about the situation, all of that shifted by going internally and getting her own wisdom around it, okay? And the reason why feel the fear and do it anyway, for a lot of it, she could never have done that. If someone said that to her, and it happens to so many women, if someone tells you to feel the fear and do it anyway, and you're not one of the 5 that can just, yep, righto, go and do that, you think like, there's something wrong with me. What's wrong with me? Why can't I do it? Am I broken? Why can't I do it? What's wrong with me? And that just adds layer upon layer upon layer of more emotional shit, emotional baggage that they've already got a load full because they're beating themselves up about the things that they can't do because they've got this irrational fear. And now we've just heaped more on them by telling them that they should just feel the fear and do it anyway. Now, at men, their male brain is very much different to our female brain, okay? It just is. And I've got lots of videos that talk about that if you want to go check it out. But they have more logical and pathways in the brain. They can just be more logical, so they can feel the fear and do it anyway. Okay, they can push their emotions aside more than what women can. Women have so much more hormones and stuff running around. We are more emotional. And we do have less logical area of the brain so that we can't just push past. 1 in 5 women can do that, yes, and be okay. But there's also the inherited baggage from our ancestors, from our bloodline, from generations gone by, which is not taken into account in any other kind of personal development. So if you can feel the fear and do it anyway, then it's probably something that's just a little bit of fear, not this much fear, and it's probably only been there for a short amount of time that you have the ability to go and just push past it and do it. If you have this fear that you have inherited from another generation, what if that fear has been sitting in your DNA, just like your eye colour and your bent little pinky finger that you've inherited from your great-great-grandmother? What if that fear of heights or fear of failure or fear of being seen or fear of being judged, fear of the dark, fear of whatever, fear of water? I've had a client who had this deep fear of water. Irrational. She didn't know why. She didn't know where it come from. What if that fear has been sitting within your DNA for hundreds of years? How do you push past it and do it anyway? Okay, when people say this, they're not taking into account, most people don't even know that we have inherited baggage, that we have inherited trauma, inherited pain, inherited patterns and beliefs and emotions that could be 100 years old, 2, 3, 4, who knows? So it's really, really hard for a lot of people to just be told, push past the fear and do it anyway. However, with something like Creatrix, this simple, very easy female-specific method, therapy, that I work with, you can release that, resolve it, get the learnings and the realizations and the epiphanies that you need to be able to shift your care factor, your focus, your beliefs, all of the things that are stopping you and holding you in that fear can be released in a very short amount of time. And then you can go on and you can do the steps and the things that you want to do. Now, my client yesterday, I know that she would be so excited to go and go out with friends, go in a high rise, go up an elevator, do simple things that a lot of us take for granted, because she's had this fear her entire life. She doesn't know when it started. It has just been there forever. So perhaps it was, but it doesn't matter if you know it is or it isn't. It can still be released through this process. But I know that a lot of people, the ones that can do the feel the fear and push past it anyway, are the only ones that say it. And they believe that they're saying the right thing for the right reasons. However, we don't know what is going on in someone else's mental, emotional, spiritual state. We don't know that. So those kind of just throwaway comments can be really harmful for some people who are watching you and say, oh, well, she could do it. Why can't I? Why am I so stuck? What's wrong with me? There are so many women who that is one of the biggest things. It's one of the most consistent in all my clients and all the women I speak to is, what's wrong with me? They feel broken, they feel isolated, they feel alone because they think everybody else has their shit together when 60, 70, 80% probably don't. Okay? So, look, if you want to know more about any kind of fear that you might have that is holding you back, that is causing you stuck, that could be affecting the people around you, because they will pick up on your fears. They will, especially kids, you know, if you've always had this fear of whatever, blah, 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 they're going to pick up on that. And then they're going to take that into their life. And then they're going to be stuck. So the best thing you could do for yourself and your future generations, you heal the past, you heal the future, is to clear out the stuff that's stopping you, that's blocking you, that's keeping you in fear, in hurt, in sadness, in grief, in whatever it is. I hope this makes sense. And I just had to get on today because, you know, it's really one of my pet peeves when I see these feel the fear and do it anyway. Feel the fear and push past it. Feel the fear. Because yes, that works for some, but not for everybody. And we don't want to be, you know, life's too hard as it is. There are so many people struggling. We don't want to add extra struggle on top of whatever they've got going on. So just be aware and be careful of what you say if you are in the personal development industry. But if you're in a place of fear, doesn't matter what it is, I'll certainly let you know. We can have a conversation, let you know whether it's something we can work on or not. But yeah, reach out to me, have a conversation. Let's do a deep dive, see what it is that's holding you stuck, that could be causing you to live a life less than the best life that you want for yourself. So I'll leave it there. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.